A big Indian-based crypto exchange recently moved its base to Dubai, triggering a conversation about crypto brain drain in India. That's a separate topic though. But cryptocurrency exchange Bybit also announced that it would be moving its headquarters from Singapore to Dubai. And previously, global crypto exchanges like FTX and Binance had received licenses to operate in Dubai. Here comes the big question. Why is Dubai becoming the crypto capital of the world? We'll tell you. So recently, Dubai Virtual Asset Regulation Law was introduced. Now, this was introduced to develop Dubai and the UAE as regional and global destinations for the crypto market players. This was its first law governing the virtual assets. Now, it also formed an independent regulator for cryptocurrency sector. This is something that a lot of crypto enthusiasts here in India are expecting to happen, which is regulation. So Dubai has regulated it, and it is called this independent regulator, Dubai Virtual Assets Regulatory Authority. You can also call it VARA, which is VARA. Now, its main responsibilities include regulating the issuance of new crypto tokens, supervising and controlling the trading of virtual assets, ensuring that high standards of protections are in place, monitoring transactions, and there are several other tasks that it has. But to cut it short, it's regulated, it has a law, and then they have a motive to encourage global players to come to Dubai or UAE. So we'll discuss this with our guest, and we'll also talk about the brain drain. Let's get into our discussion. We have with us Om Malviya, he's president of Tezos India. A very warm welcome. On the other hand, we have Sachit Joly, partner, DMD Advocates, tax lawyer. Mr. Om, first question to you. With the new tax regime in the country and the latest UPI fiasco we have seen, do you think a crypto brain drain is near in the country?
Yeah, I would say that crypto brain drain is definitely happening. At what scale? That's the question. Right now, the scale is not that big. One thing we have to realize is smartest of all the people in this entire world are working in this space, right? And we have seen in the history when all the smart people work into one space, it brings a new wave of innovation. And while Indians are in some part leading that wave of innovation, but India is not. And so I'm seeing that trend happening while just looking around founders, entrepreneurs around me. That due to lack of regulation, lack of clarity around conducting your businesses, if you are doing it crypto, a lot of people are moving outside of India.
And you sound quite modest and humble when you say, smartest of the people are doing it. But of course, I agree with you what you're saying that, this in a way is encouraging the brain drain in the country. And on the other hand, regulation is also expected, but what that regulation will have, we'll have to see in the future only. Sachit, the same question to you. We have this new tax regime, and then recently UPI regulation or regulatory also said that, we are not aware of any cryptocurrency exchange using UPI. All of this is very discouraging. You think having a tax regime on one hand and no regulation on the other is in a way encouraging the crypto brain drain?
Yeah, a lot of people.
Yeah, Sachit, go ahead.
Absolutely. I have no doubt in my mind that if you have such a high taxation, and I would call it an appropriated taxation regime, which discourages anybody investing in it, and then you have a regulator who's not willing to put his stand out versus a Dubai which has almost a nil, as of now, a nil tax system, and at least shown the inclination to have a regulatory system in place and put a regulator out there to talk to people. I think if you compare the two, the answer is obvious. And anywhere, see, Dubai, in terms of distance, in terms of your, as you call, a plug and play policy is up there and running. So, it just adds value to them. Unfortunately, our policy makers do not seem to take that into stride and move quickly. But I can't. There are no two ways about it.
Yeah, Sachit, since you are a tax lawyer, and of course we've been talking about Dubai here as well. Do you think already tax rules in place in Dubai also make a comfortable space for cryptocurrency? Would you say that? Or if you can give us an insight of what the taxation really is like in Dubai, or probably that has paved a way for cryptocurrency for global players.
Correct. So, see, as of now, there is no, in that sense, income tax in Dubai, but they have proposed a tax starting from 2023. That's a bare minimum 10% tax. I don't think there is too much to worry about on that front as well. And globally, I think we are moving towards a regime where every country will levy a tax. We are moving towards a global consensus on what we call the Pillar 1 and Pillar 2 in under the OECD regime, that every country will now start levying some kind of tax. You will not have tax havens in the future. But a 10% tax rate or a 15% tax rate, as the world is today saying, is still doable. If you allow expenses to be allowed, if you allow losses to be set off. Over here, we have a 30% gross tax. You know, it's like killing the business. So, I mean, it's a no-brainer today. If somebody asks me, where would you set up your shop? I'll say Dubai, because of you can talk to the regulator, the tax regime is friendly, and it is predictable. It is not unpredictable. I think the business looks at predictability. The business looks at, please tell me, what do I have to do? Please don't come back after I start the business and tell me that I had to do 10 things retrospectively. Those are not things which businesses want. So I think that's where Dubai is pretty much scoring over us as of now.
Okay. Coming back to you, of course, what we've also explained in our explainer, I'll ask the same question to get a different perspective from you. Of course, explainer was about why is Dubai emerging as a new hub for Indian crypto players or crypto players across the globe. What is your opinion on this? Why do you think that's happening, especially for the Indian crypto players?
Yeah. So I think Sachin shared great thoughts about how, you know, in terms of tax and regulations, how Dubai has got everything sorted out. But I think one other reasons to that is also they've got friendly regulation. Yes. It's also geographically, it's near to India. It's easier to get in touch with India here, your friends and family and ecosystem. They've got lower taxes, and there's also this network effect. So the thing is, we have seen some entrepreneurs from India moving to Dubai, and they've managed to build their business significantly. That in turn is encouraging a lot of entrepreneurs that, you know, if I move to Dubai, I can also get away with all of this lack of clarity of regulations problem, while I can also focus on scaling my business, scaling my products. For, you know,
yeah, but does that make a difference for my audience or for my customers in India as a crypto exchange? It doesn't, right?
No. I don't think it does that much. Yeah.
But do you fear that India will lose out on talent or opportunities for crypto enthusiasts if this regime was to, continue the 30% tax or no regulation? Do you think India will lose out on talent, Om?
Yeah. So, I mean, in the crypto industry, it's very normal that these days, a lot of payments, your salaries and these things are made in stable coins, right? Or they are paid in Bitcoins or Ethereum. And that basically enables, you know, that you can work from anywhere for any company, and while you can also get paid. And you don't wait for 7 days for your payment to get reflected. And second thing is, people who have recently started working in this space, they have started to realize the potential of the industry, right? If I started as an employee, now after 1 year, I would want to start my own startup. And when I go through that journey, I would look into questions that, you know, what makes the most sense for me? If I want to start a new innovative product, if I want to build a new protocol, a new blockchain, or new DeFi product, you know, how would I bring the maximum amount of value for me as a business and for my users, right? And that's where, when you start looking into it, Dubai and this kind of countries seems more favorable.
But Sachit, can or should the existing framework be changed to stop this brain drain, or probably bring a regulation in a way which doesn't harm the government? Of course, we've heard a finance minister again talking about the ill effects of cryptocurrency. So I really doubt, a regulation is around the corner. We really doubt all of that. But do you think, can there be a change to the existing framework?
Well, it'll be difficult. I think the government has to make up its mind to have any kind of broad policy framework or a regulator. I don't know. Unless they are clear in their mind, I don't think anything will come out. I think one more aspect which here deserves consideration is the bunching of NFTs with crypto assets. I think we all call it under the same roof. I think there are completely two different regimes. I think somebody needs to stand up and understand how these maybe a Bitcoin versus an NFT works. To bunch it all together and say everything is at 30% tax and everything can lead to money laundering, I don't think, these are jargons we hear every day. We've heard allegations of corruption within the CBI as well. It's not that you shut down a CBI. Or we have corruption in the government, you shut down the government. You don't do that. You find a way to work around it. You find a solution to it. You don't just shut it out. So I think the idea should be to regulate, yes, make up your mind, bring a policy, be the pioneer. Don't have to wait for the other governments to do anything. Lead by example.
Or maybe... And Sachit, a lot of crypto enthusiasts, also said that, probably 30% doesn't pinch us much, but it's also 1% tedious on every single transaction. A lot of day traders have also opposed that move. So maybe a little amendment on that front.
It's an irritant. It's difficult to implement. I mean, in fact, under the Indian income tax law, generally tedious provisions do not apply to individuals. But this is a peculiar provision which applies to almost everybody under the roof.
Sure.
If your income in a year is less than a particular threshold, you are not subject to a tedious provision. Like if you are a salaried person, tedious doesn't. You don't have to do a tedious when you buy a software or you pay for services.
Right.
A business, yes, will have to do. But if you apply it across the board in the case of now virtual digital assets, it creates irritant.
Sure.
You basically are saying, don't do this transaction.
Got it. Got it. Right. Thank you so very much. That's all the time that we had for this. And of course, Sachit mentioned about, agencies, and I won't go that far, but I would say that, internet also has its own ill effects. But of course, you can't shut down internet. Then there has to be some middle ground there. And that is what a lot of crypto enthusiasts have been asking.